right, I want to pull cards and ask about what's happening with the LA debacle. Yeah, now they're, the protesters will get arrested if they wear a mask. But ICE and them, they can wear masks. They don't have to, it's, we want to send Marines in there doing all he can so he can try to stir it up so that he could call martial law, etc. But let's see what we have. I'm just going to do it differently. So what we have coming out here first, the readings about what's being shared. Trying to get this card. Come on, let go. Okay. What's being shared, what's being overturned, seeing it from a different viewpoint, stalling, the manipulation, okay? So he wants to overturn this stuff when it comes to these manipulations. That's what the reading's about, sharing, stalling, the manipulation. Energy coming into it. He wants to enact this power. He's saying he's got the control. And when it comes to that wealth, what he's trying to sell, the manipulation he's trying to sell. I guess, also the thing with Musk being overturned with the monetary, he's got to get something else going. So what's going on today? It's what's being juggled. Being out in the cold. And so something new. He wants to bring in some new path. New opportunity. The challenge is facing a loss. When it comes to an agreement and a victory. So it's not going well. He's facing a loss. People are against it. Potential outcome. Charging forward. Having them continue to charge forward. Having the evidence in hand. And figuring out the next move. Extra information is about the families. Putting out messages, more information about the struggle, okay? So what's driving it is getting to a better place mentally with what's being shared, overturning his manipulation. It's about what's being worked on when it comes to his holding on to power and what he's trying to sell now. It's about the takeaway, what he's trying to get away with, juggling this out in the cold. The wheel is turning when it comes to a loss, an agreement, and a victory. The challenge is this strong arming, okay, charging forward. We've got the evidence, and it's about, again, wanting justice when it comes to families and the message being put out and the struggle. And people are trying to fight against this nonsense that he's doing. This big raid that he's made on the Garment Center and Home Depot and all those places. So people are concerned. When we look at this, again, the foundation is the manipulation by what he's trying to sell, trying to figure a new path forward with this to a victory, and trying to figure out the next move. But it's overturned when it comes to his wealth. He's out in the cold when it comes to an agreement because people have the evidence, okay? So above it, we have what's being shared when it comes to his action, juggling a loss when he continues to charge forward. Because we're wanting to get to a better place. What's being worked on, he's trying to get away with this, but the wheel is turning when it comes to his thinking that he's got more power than he does. Okay? So let's go ahead and see what this says. The four corners being shared, charging forward, figuring out the next manipulation. But the very center of it is being out in the cold, juggling this new path forward. Okay? There's an agreement when it comes to his wealth, his power, I guess, the things going with Musk. And there's a loss with what he's trying to instigate, and a loss out in the cold when it comes to his action, forcing this action and wanting a victory. But the victory is he is out in the cold with this. When it comes to the wealth, he's trying to dominate again with what he's trying to sell, overturning these things, but he's out in the cold with it. When it comes to sharing this new path and manipulating this, juggling what's going on, because there is an agreement about being out in the cold and having the evidence. He's facing a loss when it comes to a victory. The people will be more successful than he will in the end, because this new path he wants to bring with charging forward, these things are being juggled when it comes to the people, but they have the evidence in hand. So let's go ahead, shove these in here, and we'll look and do a clarifying read and see what it has to say about all of this going on. So what can you tell me about the brouhaha he's got going in LA? You know, and now the border czar wants to arrest Newsom. Of course, they're going to go after the blue states. They're going after particularly states that don't want to go along with this nonsense. So they're going to try to really cause riots, cause these problems so that he can amp it up. So let's see. At the center of it, yeah, he's trying to get away with this as usual. He's thinking this is something he can carry, he can get away with, but there is judgment when it comes to what he's doing. And now I don't know if this is going to be deaths or it's going to be just repressed. But mentally, you know, he wants to repress people, but they want to push back and say enough is this. So it's an end point when it comes to this judgment and his trying to get away with it. When it comes to blocking these things, blocking this, still it's him trying to sell this stuff. Above it, we have the lid on the compassion and his abuse of power and being pushed back. Now, this could be the people push back, but I think also he's going to face a lot of pushback on the edge for trying to get away with this and sell it, because it's absolutely an abuse of power. He's not listening, and they want to repress this, say enough is enough, ending this illegality, basically, with what they're doing, because we have this charging forward, club in hand, you know, wanting to restrict these things, to suspend it, when it comes to the wheel turning, going forward. There are a lot of things up in the air when it comes to him and wanting to control all these different elements, because there is an agreement that's being worked on when it comes to justice and investigating deeper into the powers of people and the nightmare scenario that is being felt now with the drama. So it looks like that maybe they're going to take it up in the courts or Congress, something. Congress, the House, I don't know who's in charge of this, but maybe something will happen there when it comes to a bit more justice, because they see Trump and his border czar and Hegseth, all of them are getting out of control. Now, remember in his first term, Trump said, well, can't you just shoot the protesters in the leg or something? Just shoot them, okay? And that's what he wants. He wants to have that type of violence so that the protesters, rather than being peaceful protests, that they become violent, and then he can order martial law and, you know, really get the military out there, etc. So that's what I get, what's going on in LA. So we'll leave that here and see if the cards are right or wrong. And yes, I'm not going to go through downtown LA area.